Let's start with my first experience on Unix system like. In my case, start with Ubuntu, a simple distro with a text environment XFCE4. In my opinion, when I start to use it, I feel a bit unfamiliar, because it isn't too similar to Windows. So for that reason it was a bit difficult to adapt me to it. What I learned using Ubuntu for a year. Customize my desktop environment. Change the input keyboard, change language, and use Bing with plugins, etc. And learn about more commands like copy, move, change directories, chmod, chown, and listing files in directories. First, my first experience when I passed to Arch Linux at the first time was really extremely difficult for someone who started with a Ubuntu distribution, in this case Ubuntu. But thanks to TaskWiki, who have everything well documented, was a bit easy. Following all the steps was easy, except for the part of the bootloader. For the first time I have to know what the command does. I was forced to learn it, because if I don't know how it works, I can't be able to use it. Basically, I remember that I have to break my routine for do this step. I literally dedicate 3 entire days just to understand UEFI and BIOS on my PC. Probably I can do it in less time, but if I do it just in less time, I'm not gonna understand how it really works. I remember that I read an entire page about BIOS on Wikipedia. However, after still pushing without stop during these 3 days, was really gratified to do that. If you already start Arch for the first time, you already know how it feels. Stay in a TTY with links during 3 days. Or probably just me who have just one screen. No distraction, no YouTube, no social media, just TaskWiki and a TTY. In my opinion, it's the best environment for do the things and not procrastinate. Obviously, try to avoid the smartphone when installing Arch Linux. Put it in the closet or something like that. Well, after to install completely Arch on my computer with a bootloader, I have to install a desktop environment. If don't know, it's basically how you have a GUI of the most useful tasks on your computer. First was the Windows Manager, the Login Manager, and desktop environment. For that just take me half a day. This curious way take me more time to boot process and make it functionable with my BIOS in UEFI mode using Refine. But it's very logical in my opinion, because if you just skip the general recommendation of TaskWiki and go directly to the environment, for install GNOME who have everything out of the box, you're not gonna understand as shit and have many errors. Instead, try to read all you can and use all you can, and maybe you're gonna understand a bit more about the environments. Basic security. I have to confess that I don't read all the general recommendations page of TaskWiki, but I apply my knowledge on Ubuntu. You say, what the fuck you're gonna learn on Ubuntu? And in my opinion, the users of Ubuntu no are too stupid. I mean, they have to know the most basic utilities commands like create a user and password. However, this is what I do while using Ubuntu. So I create my user first and the password, and with that it's a bit more secure because instead of the root, the user first start the display manager and many utilities. When logging. Display server. It's basically how it's connect a compositor, to be honest, I don't know too much about that. Source and Wayland are the most popular display server. Wayland is the most modern but have a few problems that I find, and probably a lot of people find. Is that Wayland, display server and compositors make the Windows private, don't share the name compared to Source, but in my opinion it's logical because not how web applications have to take access on that, so it's modern and secure, but I really miss ActivityWatch. That works perfectly fine on a Source server. Windows Manager. Windows Manager. A display server is basically how it moves and shows the windows on your computer with GUI. Exist many types, for example staking, tiling, and dynamic. Staking is basically how it works Windows and Mac. It's the most popular display server Windows Manager, basically, that the users use it without knowing about the name. Tiling is my favorite Windows Manager because you don't need to use the mouse for use. So how it works? Basically just by shortcuts and key bindings, and it's really faster. Dynamic. Windows managers can dynamically switch between tiling or floating Windows layout. Desktop environments. On my experience, like the title say, it was my first time that I watched my Arch installation with a GUI test environment GNOME. First, I chose GNOME because learning about other desktop environments, GNOME is the best for beginners and for experts. And to be honest, at the first time, I wanna try the desktop environment KDE, but after watch a few videos reporting with some distros don't have bugs, I opt with GNOME desktop environment. Display Manager. It's basically the login manager. When you put a password and allow you access to the computer, TTY or desktop environment in this case. Exists many like GDDM, XDM, etc. XDM is the default for a source server, but in this case I use GDM because it's the default login manager of GNOME. Now watch, install FastFetch and say I use Arch Linux by the way. I have everything installed on my system operating and working perfectly. Now it's just to continue learning about your desktop environment, like the extension on GNOME, install the network manager. That is a very interesting command. Make you feel a little bit like a hacker. In my case, I installed other OS called FreeBSD. That is my second OS that more time I dedicate. By the way, many people say that it's a horrendous desktop OS, but in my opinion no it's that bad. The handbook is at the level of ArchWiki. Can't pass it, but it's close. However, I'm still a beginner on this world of open source and free software. I'm glad to be here and learn all I can with this beautiful community.